Hello, Solid A Scoopers, and welcome to this black and white audition thing of the Solid A Scoop. And today we're going to be a little nostalgic. We're going to talk about something as old as time itself that might interest you. If it doesn't interest you, that's fine too. Feel free to click off of this video at any point. However, today we're going to talk about voiceover. Voiceover, better known as VO, is a type of acting. It's a skill. It can also be referred to as narration. Perhaps if you have Audible or you listen to literally any podcast ever, you're hearing voices. And these voices, bam, voiceover. It's fun. It's a job that isn't for everybody because you're training your voice to sound different than it usually does. Most of you who listen on SoundCloud know about the voiceover that I've done in the past. For those of you that just watch on YouTube, I make my voice sound different on different Solid A Scoops. Sometimes I can sound like this, where I sound like an old man and I'm like, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Or I can sound like this, where I'm real high-pitched and I got a southern accent. Or I can sound like this, where I kind of sound like Goofy for the Disney Channel. Or I can sound like this, where I kind of sound like I'm a little upset and a grumpy old man. But with voiceover, there's some things you need to remember. Some important tactics, little bit of rules, if you will. Rule number 1 is you always want to remember to take a breath. Sometimes people are like, that sounds super obvious and self-explanatory, but for my fellow actors out there, you know that breathing is super important. Regular acting, voiceover acting, narration, monologues, especially monologues, they're always long. It's usually just you talking, you're not talking with other characters. Remember to breathe. Put a comma in the script. Highlight a specific spot. If you see 3 little dots, ... automatic breath. And always give yourself the extra 3 seconds. 3 seconds before, 3 seconds after. This is usually where, if you're in a in-person audition, the directors, the casting directors, the writers, and whoever else is in the room with you is going to be watching to see your face, which 3 seconds before, 3 seconds after are just as important as during, because 3 seconds before, they want to see if you're breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, count to 3, go. You're counting while you're breathing, like I just did, and then you continue on. This shows that you know how to take a pause, that you're trained. 3 seconds after, believe it or not, most of the time when you're in an audition, especially nowadays if you go in person or if you're on Zoom, they're going to record you. They'll take a phone and they'll go like this and they'll record you and they'll be like, because they want to review this footage later and send it into the directors if the directors aren't already at the audition, because they're going to be the ones that pick you out. They got to review with the producers and the casting directors, and then they'll pick you to come in, and then once you come in after that, that's called a callback. And from the callback, you'll get to actually like have the chemistry read, usually read with other actors, they'll make sure you're a good fit, and then from there you'll either get contracted and hired, or they'll say, good job, but we're going to go with this person instead, kind of thing. Again, it's as old as time. Sometimes they do it on Zoom now because of the fact that there were strikes, there was COVID, there was all this jazz that happened the last 5 years, and they learned that, oh, I don't even have to leave my house to watch these anymore. I can just talk to these people on Zoom. So it's so easier. Now everyone doesn't have to fly out to LA or Atlanta or New York or whatever hub has got film different times of the year. Voiceover is even better, because voiceover, you're sending in through either Dropbox, SoundCloud, and a great way to record yourself is on Audacity. That way you're only recording your voice. SoundCloud is a good upload site, but you can't really record on there. You gotta record on something you can actually edit on, so you can edit out the background noise or edit out the spacing between you, so it just sounds like a clear sentence like this rather than like that, where there's a gap in between. Now, rule number 2 for a voiceover is that you always want to have a voice in your belt, a voice that goes with every character. I had a acting coach that told me I should have at least 5 voices in my belt for voiceover. I say you always got to have at least 2 good voices that can fit any character ever. Whether it's a grumpy old man like this that's like, hey, you kids, get off my lawn, or it's somebody like this that's just really angry and wants to eat dinner or something. You can go with multiple characters. You can also be able to change your voice really easily. Now, with changing your voice really easily, for me and some other voiceover actors that I've met, they always have a phrase or something that helps remind them of, like, okay, this is how I'm going to change that voice. For those of you that don't know, I worked at a summer camp in the past, and one of the songs we did was called Boom Chicka Boom. And it is one of my favorite songs to do with the campers. But there's a specific type where it's like, I broke a nail, chicka boom, where you sound like a valley girl. Well, for voiceover acting, if I want to sound like that, I remember that phrase. I don't necessarily have to say that phrase, because I can easily go into the voice and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Oh, like LOL, like OMG. He totally broke up with me. It was not my fault. I was going to go to the prom with him, and he broke up with me on Valentine's Day of all days. Like, oh my gosh. Easy phrase. Or, another one is a good Southern accent. I think of one of my favorite country singers, Scotty McCreery, and one of the first songs that he did after American Idol called The Trouble with Girls, where he's like, the trouble with girls is their mystery, something about them puzzles me. Oh, I can go in the voice really easily. The trouble with girls is their mystery, something about them puzzles me. Spent my whole life trying to figure out what girls are all about, and I can get a real deep Southern accent. What up, y'all? But that one's a little harder for me, so I'm still improving on that one, so it does sound like my goofy voice, which, progress. Songs are a great way to help you do different voices. For example, I can sing one of the verses from the Backstreet Boys song and easily change my voice and be like, tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why I never want to hear you say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mystery. Tell me why I never want to hear you say I want it that way. Now, you might have noticed when you do different voices, believe it or not, your mouth is going to move a lot. Sometimes it doesn't even look like it's open. That helps you get voices like this, where you're kind of just talking, you're not really talking, and sometimes, if you get real clever, you can pick up on different voices by just emphasizing a letter. In this case, S. By emphasizing S, it makes it sound like I lost my teeth, and I'm seeing that citizen. But sometimes you really need to sound different, so you can just go like this. Well, one day at the ballpark, I was like this, and then I caught the ball, and it was amazing. And the voice just changes. Now, as always, with any acting, really big, emphasize this role, super important. You're always learning, whether it's voiceover, narration, commercial, film, theater, what have you, whatever kind of acting you're doing, you're always going to learn. You're always going to be in classes, so just get used to it. Or you're going to have an acting coach, which is basically a class in itself, and they just help you improve because there's always room for improvement. Don't ever think you're going to be the best actor ever and you're just going to be in every movie ever for the rest of your days. I got a newsflash for you. There's always room for improvement. You could be right here, working your way up. There's still room for improvement. You could be all the way down here, working your way up slowly but surely like a ladder. You're always going to improve. And it's like that for any job. So you got it. Now, Solid A Scoopers, I'm going to end this by saying that when I want to really do a voice, especially one like this, I can pick up lyrics for songs. And it helps me remember how I can easily change into this voice. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's cheesy, but always helps me improve my work as an actor. Again, as old as time. Thank you, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos. I'm actually working on something with songs and ASL. That's all I'm going to say for now, because that's going to be a whole nother video. I hope you like this video. Comment below, and hit that little bell next to subscribe so you can be notified about any and all videos that get put on YouTube. Auditions, Solid A Scoops, podcast, or something like this, where it's just kind of an informative video, but a good informative.